click the up button and click the bell. Bye! You're listening to the Re-Education Podcast.
Hi guys, I'm back with another one. I'm loving this intro. My name is Simone and you are listening to the Re-Education Podcast. So today I have one of the most special guests on the show. I'm going to let them say their name and say hello.
Hi, my name's Ny'eem.
And who are you, Ny'eem?
Simone's son.
Okay, how old are you, Ny'eem?
10.
Well, I'm inviting Ny'eem to record an episode with me because I feel it's important that I share the conversation that I have with my son around the topic of racism and the Black educational experience, and also to kind of get an understanding whether he's aware of how and when he may or may not have encountered racism, or maybe he's seen it. But we're just going to have a chat. You excited?
Yeah.
He's got the biggest grin ever on his face. So we've had a bit of a chat, and I know there's a lot going on in the world right now. You're seeing things like Black Lives Matter. I don't know whether the school may be having conversations in PSHE around being treated fairly or unfairly.
We had this lesson where we would have a bag and we'd write down our worries and put it in the bag. And then if we wanted to, we could read them out.
So Ny'eem's currently in year 5 and he's going into year 6. So his worry was based on going into year 6 not knowing his teacher and how he would be treated because of the colour of his skin. So did you read your worry out?
I read the teacher one, but not the other one.
And say that again, what the other one was?
I'm worried that when I'm like your age, I won't be treated fairly because of my skin color.
My age? Wow, my age.
I mean, just when I get older.
Okay. What makes you worry about that?
Because people are going around with posters that say Black Lives Matter, and it makes me worry a bit that my type, like black people aren't being treated fairly how they're meant to.
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
You sure? It's okay. It's okay. Do you feel that you've ever been treated unfairly?
Yes.
Do you think it's because of the colour of your skin? No? Can you give me an example of where you feel that you've been treated unfairly?
When at school I hit someone, but they hit me first, and the teacher saw it, but they only said that I hit them, and I was really upset because it wasn't fair that the teacher was picking sides.
What colour was the teacher?
White.
What colour was the other child?
White.
Now I asked you, do you think that you've ever been treated unfairly? And do you think that it's because of the colour of your skin? And you said no. What if I was to say to you in that situation, the fact that you are black was the reason why the teacher unconsciously had a bias towards the other white child. So they believe the white child over you. How does that, what do you think about that?
It kind of makes me feel that I was judged because of the skin color by the teacher.
In every situation where you've come home, you've been upset, or you've told me that something has happened at school, I always go to the school and I always, I don't want to say fight it out, but I always ask you, what happened? Tell me the truth, and then what do I do?
Talk to the adults and say you really want to talk about what happened at school.
But anytime I've gone to the school, it's because I know that there's an underlying issue. I haven't explained that to you, but I always say to you, make sure that when you tell me what happened, you tell me the truth, because I know my ability to articulate the issue and highlight the inequality and discrimination behind it. That's my job as a mother. But I could be doing a better job by making you aware, so that when this happens, you're more prepared. I don't even want to say that you're more prepared. You have a better understanding of why certain things are happening to you in particular. Yeah? And that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you, and I wanted the listeners to hear this conversation too. And I don't want you to feel upset or sad, but let your emotions flow however they need to. Okay?
I feel like, because since I moved to a new school, since I got into year 5, I completely forgot, left my old school in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And just now I remembered that there was this one teacher, TA, that would always pick on me and say that I was in the wrong and always tell me off for not having my laces done. He always picks on the black children when they don't have their laces done up, but when the white children, he doesn't say anything.
I don't want you to think that because you've left there, it's all in the past. I want you to use these things, these scenarios that you shouldn't have had to go through as a 7, 8-year-old child, as learning. Yeah? Do you know what I mean when I say using it as learning? So when you encounter a situation like this, and I'm really upset that I have to say when and not if, because that is the problem within society, is that black parents have to have these conversations with their black children about when and not if. When a situation like this happens again, you know, okay, I need to let my mum know as soon as possible, and I need to talk to the teachers as soon as possible. There are other teachers from different communities that will just see black children and think they're aggressive, they're loud, they're disrespectful, because that's what they've been taught, or that's all that they know, or that's what they learn. So when they see you and your skin, they just associate. And I'm saying this is not all teachers, this is not all educators, this is not all head teachers, this is not all TAs, it's not all. We're talking about a situation specific for my son. So please just understand that I'm not generalizing here. We're talking from our experience, and I'm trying to talk my son through this experience that he's had. There's different things that I'm going to teach you as we go along on this journey. And one of those things is unconscious bias. There's a show that we're going to watch together, and it will give you a bit more of an insight as to what that means. but just understand that there are some teachers and some people from all different communities that will see you and see your skin and stereotype.
And in my new school, all the teachers are white, but they're really fair, and they don't pick on the different coloured children. They all treat them the same. But in my old school, they would mainly, in assembly, they would call names and say things that they've done before to the whole school.
When you say call names and then say things that they've done, is this good children, or I'm using inverted commas here, bad children, or naughty, bad behaved children?
I would say both, and mainly the TA or teacher that's doing it would always call out the bad things that the black children have done and always say the good things the white children have done.
I would hope that somebody from the borough that I live in is listening and is part of the education department, whether it's educational welfare, educational psychologist. All of these things that my son has experienced in that school has actually traumatized him. So they've said he's going to be bad, he's aggressive, he's naughty, he's all of these things, challenging, to the point that he's left that school and assumed that position in the new school. But instead of the new school doing the same thing that the old school did, the new school has actually worked with me on how we can support as a unit, because they say it takes a village to raise a child. We can't do it on our own, and we can't expect the school to do it on their own. We all have to work together. And I really just want to take a moment to commend my children's new school, because they've worked with me as opposed to talking at me, calling my child a liar, saying that they don't believe him, saying that he's too aggressive, he can't stay here, we're going to have to look for a new school for him. They haven't done all of that stuff that the old school did. And I want to highlight that the new school head teacher is a white male. The old school teacher was a black woman. And she still allows, well, I can't speak for those that are there now. She allowed, whilst my children were there, all of these racially motivated incidents to occur without doing her due diligence as the head of the school, as the leader of the teachers and TAs, everybody there. Like, she didn't do her due diligence, and that is upsetting, because she's leaving out a whole group of black children that are right now probably being mistreated and unfairly judged, because she allows stereotypes and discrimination, oppression, injustice, racism to continue in her school. But enough about that school. If you feel, Ny'eem, that you were unfairly treated in the school and you felt that it was because of the colour of your skin at your new school, do you feel that you could talk to somebody about that?
Yes.
Yeah? And do you feel that you could comfortably go to somebody that is your colour, that is black like you, that is maybe Asian, that is white? Do you feel that you could go to any type of person in your school and talk to them about what you feel?
I wouldn't say any, but the TA in my class and the TA that I do Elsa with, those would be the main people, and the head teacher would be the main people that I would talk to.
And what colour are they?
White.
That just, it warms my heart that you would feel comfortable to talk to the member of staff in your school that are not black like you. That does reassure me that you have been provided that safe environment and made to feel comfortable within the environment, to the point that you can actually talk to the teachers or the head teacher or the TA about anything. That's very heartwarming. I want to skip gears just a little and focus on, I'm going to say, Black history for this one. So when you were in the old school, what did you learn during the months of Black History Month? Bear in mind that when that head teacher started, they wouldn't have introduced it by the time you were in year 1. They would have introduced it by the time you were in year 2, year 3, in year 4. So 3 years you would have had of Black History Month. What did you learn in the old school?
We didn't actually celebrate it in my old school.
So when it came to actually learning things during the month of October, what did you learn about Black history?
Well, we never actually learned anything about Black history. People didn't physically do anything on Black History Month. It would just be another day in school.
So I remember you telling me one year that you were learning about, I think I asked you and you said you were learning about Mary Seacole. I think you was in maybe year 3. Then year 4 came and I said, okay, what are you doing for Black History Month? And you said Mary Seacole. I said, but you learned about Mary Seacole last year. Don't you think that there's other people that you, and the whole month on Mary Seacole, that doesn't really seem right. What did you say to the teacher when you found out that you was learning about Mary Seacole again?
Well, I wanted to say that it wouldn't really make sense for us to learn something we learned a full month on last year, and we're going to learn a full month about it again. But in my old school, that type of thing would get you in trouble. So what I had to say, what I actually said was, okay.
So you said that type of thing would get you in trouble. What's that type of thing?
If I say something like, it's not fair that we have to do this again, or someone gets to do this, I would get in trouble. And I felt it was just really unfair. But if a white person would say it, they wouldn't get told off. And there were a few black TAs in my old school, and they really understood how I felt when
It's okay. It's okay.
They really understood how I felt when the teacher kept letting the white children do things that the black children couldn't do.
And I asked you about the new school, if you feel that you could go to anybody there. In the old school, did you feel that you could go to anybody and express how you were feeling?
No, there were only 3 TAs, and those were 2 of them were black and 1 was white. I knew them from year 1 to year 4.
I understand that this is making you quite upset, and it's making you relive some stuff that, like you said, you thought you put in the past, but now talking about it, it's making you upset. And my intention is not to make you upset. My intention is to help you navigate these incidents that occurred and went, uninvestigated and unresolved. I need you to understand that the way in which the world works now, or has been working up to now, has been to make us feel like we're not good enough, to make us feel like we're not capable, and to cause us to not love ourselves. My previous episode, I spoke to 2 of your aunts, and we spoke about when do we talk to our children about racism. And the conclusion that we came to was that we talk to our children about being proud to be black, and ensure that the delivery of these conversations around racism is facilitated very well. And I don't think that I could have ever imagined that you would have started crying and got upset over talking about this. I want the people listening to understand just how much my child had to endure whilst being at the school for 5 years, almost 5 years. And I took him out. And to see the difference, like between June, you left in June last year, and by July you had that summer performance. It was a matter of weeks. My child was up there doing the dances, doing all the actions, smiling. He looked happy. Never have I seen him look like that in the previous school. And that was within weeks of leaving. And it was a very hard decision for me to take you out of that school, because I felt that I had failed you as a mother. I felt that I made the wrong decision making you go there and then making your sister join you. I felt like it was all my fault. And the only way that I could make it right was by giving you a new start. And you know, because I tell you that everything I do is for you and your sister. Like, I love you guys more than I love myself. And I would do anything for the both of you. And taking you out of the school was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Best decisions I've ever made. So I want to move on to being black. What does it mean to be black to you?
To be proud of who I am, and that in my new school I have more black friends, and if like one of us got into a fight, the other one, our friends would help me, or I would help them.
What do you mean if you got into a fight? They would help
just
you.
To say if I got into an argument.
Thank you. Don't want these people thinking that my child's a fighter out here. When you say fight, you mean wrong. Okay. When you say fight, you mean into an argument or a disagreement.
Yeah.
But also, do you think that if your black friends were to see you in a situation and then the teacher came along and maybe was listening to what the other child said, let's say you was in a situation with a white child and the teacher was, like before, showing preference to the white child, do you think that now that you have more young black males that look like you and understand you and you understand them, that they could maybe stand up for you as well? So they could say, well, actually, no, miss, this is what happened.
Yeah, because in my other school, no one would stand up for me, and all my friends would stand up for the other person.
Those weren't your friends, son. I hate to say that to you, but those were not your friends. So you said being black to you means being proud of who you are. And I want to know what makes up Ny'eem. What makes you say that this is me, this is what I have, this is what I bring?
Because I have lots of family from different parts of the world, and they all sometimes share their journey, what happened with them, like journeys, and most of my family like to make me laugh.
So you said most of your family like to make you laugh. Where's your family from?
Nigeria and Jamaica.
Fantastic. Have you been to Nigeria and or Jamaica?
Yes. But when I went to Jamaica, I was really younger, so I don't remember that much from there.
Mm-hmm. But when did you go to Nigeria?
Last year in December.
And how did you find that?
Exciting, because I was really looking forward to seeing how the different parts of my family lived and what it was like, and I was excited to see how they grew up, to seeing different places that I've never seen before.
When we went to Nigeria, how many planes did we take?
We took one to go to Nigeria. Then
did we take one?
Took one?
No, we didn't take one.
We took another one.
So where did we go? Do you remember where we went first? Where did we stop off first? Do you remember?
A hotel.
No, you're thinking about when we got to Nigeria. But just when we left our house and we took the cab to the airport, we got on one plane to Germany.
Oh yeah, and then another one to get to Nigeria.
Yes, and we landed in Lagos.
And then our granddad picked us up. Well, my granddad picked us up. And then we stayed, I think, a hotel for the night.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got onto another plane to get to the village. And then we drove to where we were staying, and that was
to our house, not to
house,
where we were staying, to
our
our
house,
village.
To our village, and that was the end of our journey.
Not for the duration of the holiday.
And no, but
do you remember the state that we stayed in, where our village is?
Starts with A.
Go on.
I feel like this is from Ebola.
No, Abia.
Abia
State. You was close, but Ebola, no. I think you're trying to mix our village with the state name. Do you know what this? Do you know how to pronounce our village?
No.
I always shy away from saying it. Go on.
Ebola?
No. Ebola.
What?
Ebola. And people are gonna laugh at me because I'm probably saying it wrong, but I don't care. At least I know where I'm from. At least I can try to pronounce it. I've always felt a bit shy and scared to say it. But when you're around your aunts, your uncles, your granddads, you can ask him to pronounce it for you. But you should always be able to say where you're from. Ebola. I know I'm saying it wrong. You're laughing at me now. You say it. What did you say? Ebola? No, sir. That's not where we're from.
I just when I hear other people say it, I just know that I'm at least a mile off.
But at least you try. Remember, you have to try in order to
succeed.
Exactly. You have to fail in order to succeed. So don't shy away from it, and you're a child that likes to ask loads of questions. So don't be afraid. I want to hear what was the best part of you staying in the village.
The wedding.
The wedding. You got married.
My aunt, Auntie Uche.
Yeah, she got married. It was a lovely experience. I mean, the heat was a lot.
But the first time I'd experienced Nigerian type of partyish wedding. But it felt more of a party than a wedding.
Oh God, you heard it first hand from Ny'eem. It felt like a party more than a wedding. That was the first time I'd ever been to a wedding in Nigeria. I hadn't been to one before. I mean, I started traveling to Nigeria when I was a little bit younger than you. Yeah, the house that we stayed in, our house, didn't look like that before. I wish I had pictures to show you what the house looked like before, and like where I used to sleep before, how I used to bathe before, how my gran used to cook before. Like, it was very different.
Because the first night when I bathed, I felt a little grossed out because of the bath. But thank God my mum realised that there was a shower part.
Yeah.
I was saved.
And these are the things that you will get used to, because that's the same way that we bathe in Jamaica. You wouldn't remember, but that's the exact same way that we bathe in Jamaica. And there was one time I was having a bath and the cockroach came out of the plug hole whilst I was in the shower. Lucky that didn't happen in Nigeria. And you guys didn't really get bitten. I mainly got all of the bites. You guys didn't.
I did get bitten, but not that much.
Yeah, not at all. And then when we left the village, we drove to Lekki, and We did a couple of things there. What did you think of when we went to Granddad's apartment in Lekki and the activities that we did?
They were nice. Please can you remind me of them?
We went to the resort where we went and where you and Dad actually saw the lion.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Consume hunt its prey.
Yeah.
And consume its prey.
Not consume.
I don't really want to promote that on this platform, but you saw the hunting and the consuming. Let's just skip the middle part because I didn't see that, luckily.
Oh yeah, and when we went in, it looked like a greenhouse where they kept, I think it was the butterflies.
Yes.
When we went in there, all we saw was the fish in the pond.
Yeah, and chickens walking around happily. That was strange. We went in there expecting to see some, some butterflies.
When you go in a glass house and you see all the plants and the butterflies. That's what I was expecting.
And then we went at the same resort, there was like a water park little area where we climbed on these very, very, very questionably dangerous stairs. I did not want to go back up there, but because you and Kayana wanted to go, I refused to allow you to walk up there because one slip, bye-bye. You was gone. You was 100% gone. I had to walk up behind the two of you so that neither one of you dropped, and if you dropped, you dropped on me. That was very scary, and these children were just running up and down these wet stairs. Oh my gosh, it was... I thought that I knew what it meant to have a panic attack, but that was a different level.
It was scary though, because it definitely was scary, because it didn't have sidebars on the side.
Nope.
So you just had to walk in a straight line. It was just
a metal spiral staircase, and it was metal up until the top part where they kind of covered it with something, and then as soon as my foot landed on that surface, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm like, I say, this is the last one. We're not going back down again. We're not going back down. I refused to let the two of you go by yourself because it was too scary. Because
I'd rather take those two that are at the top. I'd rather take them and put them where the stairs are.
Exactly.
Not where that.
Oh
there.
Gosh, that was scary. And they had little rides, but yeah, they weren't really rides for us.
Yeah.
What did we eat?
We're kind of thrill seekers, but...
Thrill seekers? Not me. Not me at all.
Kind of.
You can be the thrill seeker. I'm good. Yeah, I think that's all that we did, really, in Omu Resort. And then I think the next day we went to the beach. Or that night, you had Suya. I feel it was for the first time. No, you had Suya the first night we got to...
Yeah.
How do you say it, Ny'eem? Go on, say it.
Soya.
It's not soya. Soya milk. Soya is for milk. Suya. Suya. Suya.
Soya.
There you go. And the next time I say it, you're still gonna say, "Oh, is that soya, Mum? Is that soya?" Oh dear. But you loved suya, especially considering you don't like spice and you don't really eat meat. Ny'eem is one of the fussiest eaters I've ever encountered, and it's very hard to cater for Ny'eem. You ate pretty much noodles for lunch and dinner.
I basically random noodles.
Yep. It was lucky that my dad got us some lacto-free milk before we got there. So all I did was buy cereal, and that's what you would eat for breakfast. And then you'd have noodles for lunch, noodles for dinner. Whilst Kayana was having stew, she was having soup, she was having gari, she was having all sorts of stuff.
Oh yeah, in Nigeria, that was the first time I tried rice and stew.
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 You need to understand, when you're speaking with the little bit of the accent, it's all in the pronunciation. Yeah? Stew. Suya.
Suya.
Webula.
What?
Oh gosh, this has been fun. We went to the beach. The beach was fun. It was really warm. The water was. I always find when we go on holiday, you guys go to the beach. Like I can sit there and sunbathe, and you guys are just gonna do what you're doing. Just have fun. Like when we went to Spain, and you buried yourself in the sand. I don't even know how you managed to do that. He's like, "Mummy, look." I was like, "What? Where have you gone?" Making friends and all sorts. That's one thing with traveling with you guys. You fully enjoy yourself, especially if there's water, there's sand, there's TV with kids shows on it, there's somewhere to play games. I mean, you're just happy. There's pizza. I mean, you're even more happy. Chips. Woo! Done it all. So overall, what did you think of your trip to Nigeria?
It was exciting to see how some of my family lived and what it was like to live with mosquitoes in the air.
Oh, you didn't see the Ekme. You didn't come for Ekme.
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was with Auntie Chichi.
Oh yes, you were. Because they flogged Auntie.
She tried to kick him.
She didn't try, she did. She did. I'll maybe save that for another episode, guys, because that trip to Nigeria was hilarious, entertaining, traumatic at times, to say the least. But I really wanted, that we were having issues with you at school and there was talk of you not being able to go, but I really wanted you to go to Nigeria and see where you're from.
And our culture.
Exactly. So with that in mind, where would you like to, you say you want to go Jamaica, but what kind of things do you think you'd see? Because I know I took you all over the gaff when I took you to Jamaica back in 2013. It was a very good trip. Very, very good trip, actually.
Well, I can remember there were lots of people there.
So what kind of things do you want to do when you go to Jamaica?
I'm not sure. Maybe go back to, but all I can remember, there was this, like, it was a big waterfall, but it was like a water slide, but it wasn't man-made.
You mean a waterfall? Dunn's River?
Yeah.
That's where we went. You want to go back to Dunn's River?
Yeah.
You're going to climb it?
Yeah. I'd love to go there.
Okay. Let the record show. Ny'eem says he wants to climb Dunn's River Falls. And we shall make that happen. We shall.
You'll climb it with me, though.
Of course. How else are you going to climb it?
Okay, Anna.
No, I don't know about that. That's a lot of effort. Well, we won't leave her out. Just know that I'm not carrying anybody up there. Like, once you take that first step, you're committed to to climbing the whole way, the duration.
Okay, before I get on the step, I'll just jump on your back.
No way. That's not gonna fly. That isn't gonna fly. I'm an old lady. My back ain't good, so we're not gonna do that.
You're a lady, you're not old.
Oh, thank you, son. You're so cheesy. So, is there anything that you want to say about what we've talked about?
That I've learned not all white people are as racist as I thought, as rude to black people. Because when I joined a new school, I realized that I could start a fresh page and that I wouldn't have to worry about being picked on by the children and the TAs because of my skin color. And I learned to be proud of who I am, and I learned that I'm good at lots of things like math, arts. focus more.
Is it pressure? I'll put you on the spot.
I was going to say English, but I'm not really that good at it.
Yes, you are. Your reading is impeccable, Ny'eem. Your writing, your creative writing is out of this world.
My creative writing, but I'm just gonna say my handwriting isn't.
Yeah, you can work on that.
But
You can work on your handwriting. It's not the be all and end all.
my creative writing's good.
Very good. When it comes to creativity, both of you really, Kayana's more an action type of creative, whereas you're a more written, drawing, coming up with ideas, creative. Like the speed in which you've learned how to draw has just blown me right away. And guys, I definitely, on my Instagram, I'm going to start posting some of Ny'eem's pictures. We just want to make sure, when I say we, myself and his father want to make sure that we give him the best resources to do his drawing and be as creative as he wants to be. I've said to you that I would like you to learn how to draw more things, especially because anime is like the in thing for you. Like everything is anime. From you drawing it and Kayana watching it, I'm questioning where you guys found that love for anime. You know, it's your passion right now. That's great. However, being the nurturing mother that I am, I want you to learn as much as possible within art. So I want you to learn how to draw people that look like you. You know, I want you to have a wide range when it comes to art, because you know I'm serious when I do stuff. And when I start presenting you to the world, I'm going to present you in the fullest. So when people start to make requests and you're like, oh, but mummy, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can do that. If you remember, I said failure leads to what? In order to succeed, you
need to fail.
And failure leads to success. So, and when I say failure, that failure is learning. Yeah. So you learn through not doing it right, or through questioning your abilities, through questioning your talent. And you have that thirst for knowledge, thirst for learning more things. And that's what I want you to do, because you are very, very talented. You're very intelligent, Ny'eem. Despite what the first school tried to say, you're a smart young boy. And I feel lucky, honored, privileged to be your mother, because I know that you are destined for greatness. And it's not just when you're 20 or when you're 30, you're destined for greatness now. The way in which you articulate yourself is something to be very proud of, Ny'eem. And anytime I've introduced you to a friend, a colleague, or we meet new people, nobody has anything bad to say about you, Ny'eem. They always say, such a lovely young man, so sweet, very manageable, lot of respect, he's so gorgeous, lovely drawing, very smart, isn't he? You know, these are all the different things that people say when they meet you that you don't know of. But just know, Ny'eem, that no matter what, I 150 million% love you and will always be here for you. And I don't ever want you to feel that you have to suffer in silence. If you feel that you're being made to feel less than or being picked on, and you feel it's because of that, I want you to be able to say that, not only to me, but to the teacher, to the TA, to whoever it is. Because without you sharing your voice, your feelings and your thoughts, people will never know. Okay? So thank you so much, son, for coming onto my podcast.
You're welcome.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yes. Did you enjoy it, Ny'eem?
Yes.
Okay, would you come back?
I can't say no.
Do you think that we should get Kayana on one?
Yeah.
She would just talk about everything and anything, wouldn't she?
Yep.
All right, thank you very much, son, for coming. I love you, son. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, it was a bit of a deep one, really pulling at your heartstrings there, but I want you to feel every word that Ny'eem has said and listen intently to what he's talking about, especially with regards to his experience at school. He's 10. He was at that school from the age of 4. And he left at the age of 9. So that's 5 years of reflection that he's got to work through. And I'm going to be here every step of the way. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And I look forward to continuing to learn and grow with you all. Bye.
Bye.